Captain Hannah Park stood on the bridge of the UES Intrepid, her eyes fixed on the vast emptiness of space through the main view screen. The exploration vessel had been charting this remote sector for 3 weeks now, collecting data on unmarked star systems that humanity had never visited before. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy readings at coordinates 227 Mark 43, said Officer Sun, his fingers moving rapidly across his sensor console. Hannah frowned. Natural phenomenon. Uncertain. The pattern seems artificial. The Intrepid was not built for combat. Its sleek, elongated hull housed state-of-the-art scientific equipment, powerful sensors, and minimal defensive capabilities. Perfect for its mission of peaceful exploration, but vulnerable if things went wrong. Maintain course but raise shields as a precaution, Hannah ordered, a slight tension creeping into her voice. 6 years of deep space exploration had taught her to trust her instincts. Something didn't feel right. Officer Jin at communications turned suddenly. "Captain, I'm picking up scattered transmissions. Non-human origin. They're using encryption patterns consistent with..." His face paled. Krell pirates. The bridge fell silent. The Krell were infamous throughout this sector of space. Insectoid aliens with 4 arms and a reputation for merciless efficiency. They targeted ships from what they called soft species, considering humans particularly worthwhile prey due to their valuable technology. "Battle stations," Hannah commanded, her voice steadied despite the surge of adrenaline. "Begin emergency jump calculations. Jin, prepare a distress beacon." But it was already too late. 3 Krell attack ships suddenly decloaked around the Intrepid, their jagged, chitinous hulls resembling massive insects. Before the human crew could react, the pirates fired specialized EMP weapons designed to disable rather than destroy. They wanted the ship intact. The bridge lights flickered and died as systems throughout the Intrepid failed one after another. Emergency lighting bathed the crew in an eerie red glow. "Direct hit to our power core," Engineering Officer Yoon reported, her voice tight with controlled panic. "Main systems are offline. Backup power at 30% and falling." Hannah gripped the arms of her command chair. "Jin, status of the distress beacon." "Almost ready, Captain, but with main power down. Use emergency protocols. Route it through auxiliary systems." As her crew worked frantically to restore power, Hannah assessed their options. The Intrepid couldn't fight or flee. Their only hope was to get a message out. The ship shuddered as something massive clamped onto the hull. "They've attached boarding tubes," Security Chief Kang reported, checking the readings on his tablet. "Multiple breaches detected on decks 3, 5, and 7. Hannah made her decision. "Kang, deploy security teams to slow them down. Everyone else, implement Protocol Dark Star." Protocol Dark Star was a last resort measure for human vessels in danger of capture. It involved wiping sensitive data, hiding crucial technology, and preparing for the worst. The crew moved with practiced efficiency despite their fear. Officer Jin worked furiously at his station. "Captain, I've modified the distress beacon. It's ready." "Send it," Hannah ordered. Jin pressed the activation sequence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a small confirmation light blinked on his console. "Beacon away, Captain." Encrypted on military channels. Hannah allowed herself a moment of hope. The nearest human outpost was the Orion Deep Space Station, home to the UES Thunderstrike, one of humanity's most advanced warships. That hope was short-lived. The bridge doors hissed open, and 4 Krell warriors stormed in, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming in the emergency lighting. Each stood nearly 7 feet tall, with 4 powerful arms wielding various weapons. Their compound eyes took in the bridge with alien calculation. The security officers raised their weapons, but Hannah raised her hand. "Stand down," she ordered. Fighting now would only get her people killed. The largest Krell stepped forward, mandibles clicking as its translation device activated. "Captain of human vessel," it chittered in rough English. "Your ship belongs to the Krell Dominion now. Over the next hour, the Intrepid's crew was rounded up and herded into the ship's mess hall. The Krell moved with brutal efficiency, stunning anyone who resisted. Captain Hannah Park was separated from her crew and brought to her own ready room, where a female Krell waited. Unlike the warriors, this one wore ornate armor covered in strange symbols of rank. "I am Queen Captain Vrax of the Krell Dominion," the alien announced. "Your vessel is now my property, as are you and your crew." Hannah stood tall despite her fear. "The United Earth Alliance does not recognize pirate claims. Release my ship and crew immediately." Vrax's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. Humans, always so diplomatic, even when defeated. She circled Hannah slowly. "You are the 7th human captain I have captured. Your ships are valuable. Your technology is useful. And your species is too weak to do anything about it." What Vrax didn't know was that the distress beacon Jin had sent wasn't a standard emergency signal. It contained detailed information about the attack, the pirates' identities, and a coded military request for immediate intervention. Far away at the Orion Deep Space Station, that signal was being received by the UES Thunderstrike. Unlike the Intrepid, the Thunderstrike was built for war, a fact the Krell would soon discover. As Hannah was escorted to join her imprisoned crew, she caught glimpses of the Krell pirates ransacking her ship, cataloging technology and resources with their four-armed efficiency. They believed they had captured just another helpless human vessel. They were wrong. In the mess hall, Hannah made eye contact with Officer Jin, who gave her the smallest of nods. The message had gotten through. Now all they could do was wait and survive. The Krell continued their methodical pillaging of the Intrepid, unaware that they were no longer the hunters. Soon, they would become the hunted. Captain Ta Kim was eating dinner in his quarters when the alert came through. The sharp beeping of his personal communicator cut through the peaceful classical music playing in the background. He set down his chopsticks and pressed the device. "Captain Kim here." "Sir, we've received a distress signal from the UES Intrepid," reported Lieutenant Choi, her voice tense. "It's using emergency military protocols." Kim was already on his feet. "I'll be right there." 5 minutes later, he strode onto the bridge of the UES Thunderstrike. The massive warship was docked at Orion Deep Space Station, undergoing routine maintenance. Unlike the sleek exploration vessels like the Intrepid, the Thunderstrike was built for power. Its dark hull bristled with weapon systems, and its reinforced armor could withstand tremendous damage. "Show me the signal," Kim ordered. Lieutenant Choi brought up the data on the main screen. The message was cleverly disguised. To casual observers or interceptors, it appeared to be a standard distress call from a ship with engine trouble. But embedded within were encrypted details that told a much darker story. "Krell pirates," Kim said, his expression hardening as he read the data. "They've taken the Intrepid and her crew." The bridge crew exchanged worried glances. The Krell had become increasingly bold in recent years, attacking shipping lanes and outposts. But taking a United Earth Alliance vessel was a significant escalation. "How long ago was this sent?" Kim asked. "Just over 40 minutes, sir," replied Choi. Kim's decision was immediate. "Sound battle stations. Recall all personnel from the station. We launch in 30 minutes. "Sir," Navigation Officer Du spoke up, "the maintenance on our port thrusters isn't complete. Engineering estimates another 6 hours. "We don't have 6 hours," Kim cut him off. "The Intrepid and her people don't have 6 hours. Make it work." As the alarm sounded throughout the ship, Kim turned to his first officer. "Jun, what do we know about Krell pirate tactics?" Commander Jun Ba brought up tactical data on his screen. They typically disable ships with EMP weapons, board them, take what they want, and either abandon the vessel or sell it at black market shipyards. They're known to keep crews for ransom or sell them as laborers. Kim nodded grimly. "And they've never faced a Thunderstrike-class warship before." "No, sir. Our capabilities are classified. All they'll expect is another exploration vessel or perhaps a light cruiser." A thin smile crossed Kim's face. Then we have the element of surprise. He turned to the weapons officer. Min, prepare all systems, but keep them powered down until my order. I want the Krell to think we're less dangerous than we are. Officer Min nodded. Yes, Captain. 28 minutes later, the Thunder Strike detached from the space station. Its massive engines glowed blue as it moved away from the dock. All hands report ready for combat, Captain, Commander Jun announced. Good. Set course for the Intrepid's last known coordinates, maximum speed. The warship's engines flared brilliantly as it accelerated to faster-than-light travel, disappearing into the darkness of space. Meanwhile, aboard the captured Intrepid, Captain Hannah Park and her crew were living a nightmare. The Krell had herded them into the cargo bay, which had been hastily converted into a makeshift prison. Armed guards with 4 arms and chitinous exoskeletons patrolled the perimeter, their compound eyes constantly scanning for trouble. Hannah moved quietly among her people, checking injuries and offering quiet words of encouragement. 20 of her crew had been wounded during the takeover, 3 seriously. How's Lee doing? She asked Dr. Song, who was tending to an unconscious engineer. Stable for now, the doctor replied softly. But he needs proper medical equipment. The Krell took everything except my basic med kit. Hannah nodded, hiding her anger. Do what you can. Help is coming. You can't know that, Dr. Song whispered. Trust me, Hannah replied. I know. The cargo bay doors slid open, and Queen Captain Vrax entered with her guards. The Krell leader's ornate armor clicked as she moved, her mandibles working constantly as if tasting the air. Captain Park. Vrax's translation device rendered her clicks into flat English. Your ship's data systems are impressive but stubborn. We require access codes. Hannah stood, facing the alien who was nearly 2 feet taller than her. As I told you, I can't provide those. They're locked with biometric controls linked to Earth Command. This was a lie, but a convincing one. The Intrepid systems were indeed secured, but Hannah and her senior officers could access them. They simply refused to. Vrax moved closer, looming over Hannah. Perhaps pain will improve your memory. Humans are soft, both in body and resolve. One of the Krell guards moved forward, raising a rod-like device that hummed with energy. Officer Jin suddenly stepped forward. Wait, I can help. I'm the communications officer. I know backdoor access protocols. Hannah shot him a warning look, but Jin gave her an almost imperceptible nod. He was buying time. Vrax considered this. Very well. You will come with us to the bridge. As they led Jin away, Hannah felt a mixture of pride and fear. Her crew was being brave, delaying the pirates, protecting what they could. But how long could they hold out? On the bridge, now controlled by Krell operators, Jin was made to sit at his station. Vrax loomed behind him. Now, human, show me these backdoor protocols. Jin began typing, deliberately slowly entering commands that would seem legitimate to the watching aliens, but would actually trigger more security lockdowns. The system is complex, he explained. It will take time. Time you have. Vrax replied coldly. But patience I lack. Unknown to the Krell, Jin's actions were also reinforcing the distress beacon, boosting its signal strength. Each keystroke was a message to potential rescuers. We are here. We are alive. We need help. Across the room, a Krell navigator chittered urgently to Vrax. The Queen Captain moved to a display showing local space. It seems another human vessel approaches, Vrax noted with indifference. Likely responding to your distress call about engine failure. Another prize for our collection. Jin kept his expression neutral, but inside, hope surged. The distress signal had worked. Help was coming. In the darkness of space, the UES Thunderstrike dropped out of faster-than-light travel, its systems running silent, its weapons powered down but ready. On its bridge, Captain Kim studied the tactical display showing the Intrepid being towed by a larger Krell vessel. Ready all weapons, he ordered quietly. Prepare boarding teams. The Krell were about to learn a harsh lesson about humanity. They weren't the easy prey they thought they were, and the hunter was about to become the hunted. The UEA's Thunderstrike emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Taurus Nebula, immediately powering down its engines to reduce its signature. The massive warship drifted silently, its dark hull blending with the blackness of space. On the bridge, Captain Ta Kim stood with his hands clasped behind his back, studying the main view screen. "Tactical analysis," he ordered quietly. Lieutenant Min's fingers danced across her console. "Sensors show the Intrepid is being towed by a Krell carrier, sir. The carrier is roughly 3 times our size, but appears to be an older model. I count 12 smaller vessels escorting them." Kim nodded. "Life signs on the Intrepid." "Confirmed. Human life signs concentrated in what appears to be the cargo bay. Some readings are weak but stable." A grim smile crossed Kim's face. "They're alive. That's something." He turned to his first officer. "Commander Jun, initiate stealth protocols. I want us close enough to see inside their viewports before they know we're here." "Yes, sir." The Thunderstrike's advanced cloaking system engaged, bending light around the warship's hull, while specialized equipment absorbed radar and other detection signals. It wasn't perfect invisibility, but against the Krell's older technology, it would be more than adequate. The human warship began to move, its powerful engines running at minimal output, the ship gliding through space like a shark through dark water. "Communications," Kim addressed Lieutenant Choi. "Once we're in position, open a channel to the Krell carrier. I want to give them one chance to surrender peacefully." "Sir," Commander Jun questioned softly. "The Krell are not known for diplomacy." Kim's expression hardened. "No, they're not. But we are. Even if only to establish that we tried the peaceful approach first." As the Thunderstrike closed the distance, they got their first clear view of the Krell carrier through the magnified view screen. It was an ugly vessel, resembling a massive insect with sharp, jutting angles and biological-looking protrusions. The Intrepid looked tiny and vulnerable beside it, connected by docking tubes and towing beams. "We're in position, Captain," Commander Jun reported. 5,000 kilometers from target, well within weapons range." Kim nodded. "Disengaging cloak. Open communications channel." The cloaking field surrounding the Thunderstrike dissipated, revealing the warship in all its intimidating glory. Its dark hull gleamed dully in the light of distant stars, weapon ports clearly visible along its length. "Channel open, sir," Lieutenant Choi confirmed. Captain Kim stepped forward. "This is Captain Ta Kim of the United Earth Alliance warship Thunderstrike. You have illegally seized a UEA vessel and taken its crew hostage. Power down your weapons and release the Intrepid immediately, or we will take action." For several seconds, there was no response. Then the view screen flickered, and the alien face of Queen Captain Vrax appeared. Her mandibles clicked rapidly as she studied the human captain. "Another human vessel," she said, her translation device rendering her clicks into flat, emotionless English. "How fortunate for us. The Krell Dominion accepts your surrender. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded." Several bridge officers exchanged glances, but Kim's expression remained neutral. "I don't think you understand the situation," he replied evenly. "The Thunderstrike is not an exploration vessel. We are a military warship, and we are ordering you to release our people." Vrax's compound eyes seemed to glitter with amusement. "Human, your species has a reputation for weakness. Your ships are valuable but easy prey. This one will be no different." Kim's voice remained calm. "This is your final warning. Release the Intrepid and her crew, or face the consequences." Vrax's mandibles clicked rapidly in what might have been laughter. "We outnumber you. We outgun you. But if you wish to die, we will oblige." The communication cut off abruptly. "They're powering up weapons," Lieutenant Min reported. "Detecting launch signatures from the carrier. They're deploying fighter craft." Kim's expression hardened. "So be it. Battle stations. Power up all defensive systems. Weapons at full readiness but hold fire until my command. Alarms sounded throughout the thunderstrike as the crew rushed to their combat positions. The ship's reactor hummed as it channeled energy to the shields and weapon systems. On the view screen, they watched as the Krell carrier launched its fighters. Small, agile craft resembling winged insects, at least 20 of them swarming toward the thunderstrike. They're approaching an attack formation, Min reported, reading energy buildups in their weapon systems. Let them come a little closer, Kim ordered, his voice steady. Make them think we're slow to respond. The Krell fighters accelerated, clearly confident in their numerical advantage. The lead vessels opened fire, energy bolts streaking toward the human warship. Now, Kim commanded, point defense systems, engage at will. The thunderstrike suddenly bristled with activity as dozens of automated defense turrets emerged from its hull. These systems, designed to track and eliminate incoming threats, represented some of the most advanced targeting technology humanity had developed. The result was immediate and devastating. Precision energy beams lanced out from the thunderstrike, each finding its mark with unerring accuracy. 3 Krell fighters exploded in the first second, 5 more in the next. The remaining fighters attempted to break formation and evade, but the tracking systems adjusted instantly. 8 targets neutralized, Lieutenant Min reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from her voice. 12, 15. On board the Krell carrier, Queen Captain Vrax watched in disbelief as her fighter screen was systematically destroyed. What had seemed like an easy target was revealing itself to be something else entirely. Impossible, she hissed, her mandibles clicking frantically. Target their weapons, launch all remaining fighters. But the thunderstrike wasn't finished demonstrating its capabilities. As a second wave of Krell fighters launched, Captain Kim gave his next order. Forward batteries, target the carrier's weapon emplacements. Surgical strikes only. I want to disable, not destroy. We still need to recover our people. The thunderstrike's main weapon systems powered up, energy gathering in massive cannons, far more powerful than anything the Krell had encountered from human vessels before. When they fired, brilliant beams sliced through space, striking the Krell carrier with pinpoint precision. Weapon arrays exploded, defense systems went dark, and propulsion nodes failed. In the cargo bay of the Intrepid, Captain Hannah Park felt the shockwaves as the Krell carrier took hits. The Krell guards looked at each other in confusion, their mandibles clicking rapidly in their own language. What's happening? One of her crew asked softly. Hannah allowed herself a small smile. That would be our rescue party. Back on the Thunderstrike's bridge, Captain Kim watched as the remaining Krell fighters scattered, some attempting to return to their now damaged carrier, others simply fleeing. The carrier's primary weapons are disabled, Lieutenant Min reported. Their engines are at 50% capacity. They cannot flee or effectively fight back. Kim nodded in satisfaction. Reopen communications. The view screen flickered back to life, showing Queen Captain Vrax's bridge. Smoke filled the background, and several of her crew were frantically working to contain damage. This is Captain Kim. As you can see, your assessment of human capabilities was flawed. I'll make the offer one more time. Surrender, release our people, and you may yet survive this encounter. Vrax's compound eyes fixed on him with alien hatred. This is not possible. Human ships are not this powerful. Exploration ships aren't, Kim agreed. But the Thunderstrike isn't an exploration vessel. It's a warship, and you've just learned the difference. Boarding teams, prepare for deployment. Captain Kim's voice echoed through the Thunderstrike's launch bay. Priority 1 is recovering our people. Marine Commander Ji Lee stood at attention as 30 elite soldiers checked their equipment. Unlike the regular crew in their standard uniforms, the Marines wore powered combat armor, sleek, dark exoskeletons that enhanced strength, speed, and protection. Each suit represented the pinnacle of human military technology, carefully hidden from alien eyes until now. The Krell think humans are physically weak, Commander Lee told her team. Today we proved them wrong. Remember your training. Work in pairs, Watch your sectors. Bring our people home." The Marines thumped their armored chests in acknowledgement. On the bridge, Captain Kim monitored the situation as the Thunderstrike maintained its position, weapons trained on the damaged Krell carrier. "The carrier is attempting to restore power to their weapons," Lieutenant Min reported. "They're also trying to maneuver away from us." Kim's eyes narrowed. "They're stalling. Move us into position between them and the Intrepid." Launch boarding shuttles. 3 sleek, armored shuttles detached from the Thunderstrike's belly, accelerating toward the captured exploration vessel. Inside the lead shuttle, Commander Lee watched the tactical display as they approached. "Expect resistance at the docking points," she told her team. "Krell have 4 arms and natural armor. Aim for joint connections and eye clusters." The shuttles made contact with the Intrepid's hull, magnetic clamps engaging with a heavy thunk. Cutting tools deployed, creating entry points that bypassed the normal airlocks. "Breaching now," Lee reported through her comlink. The first team surged through the opening into a maintenance corridor of the Intrepid. Almost immediately, they encountered Krell guards. The insectoid aliens were nearly 7 feet tall, their chitinous bodies bristling with natural armor, and their 4 arms wielding energy weapons and blade-like implements. The Krell opened fire immediately, energy bolts illuminating the narrow corridor. But the human Marines, their reflexes enhanced by their powered armor, moved with startling speed. They split into practiced formations, some providing covering fire while others advanced. Their armor absorbed hits that would have killed unprotected humans. "They're fast," one Marine called out as he ducked behind a bulkhead. "So are we," Commander Lee replied, activating her suit's boost system. She launched forward with explosive speed, crossing the space between her and the nearest Krell in an eye blink. The alien barely had time to react before Lee's armored fist connected with its thorax, the enhanced strength of the suit cracking the creature's natural armor. The Krell staggered back, green fluid leaking from the wound. The other Marines followed her example, using their enhanced mobility to close distance rapidly. The Krell, accustomed to overwhelming physically weaker species, found themselves suddenly matched in strength and outmaneuvered tactically. Their advantage of having 4 arms meant little against humans who moved like lightning and coordinated with practiced precision. "Clear," announced Sergeant Yoon after the last Krell in the corridor fell. "Moving to Section B." Meanwhile, aboard the Krell carrier, Queen Captain Vrax raged at her crew. "Restore weapons. Crush that human ship," she demanded, her mandibles clicking furiously. "The weapons need more time," one of her officers replied. The human targeting was too precise. "They knew exactly where to hit us," Vrax hissed. "Then move us away. We can still escape with the human vessel." The damaged carrier's engines flared as it attempted to pull away, dragging the Intrepid with it. But Captain Kim had anticipated this move. "They're trying to run," Lieutenant Min reported, towing the Intrepid with them. "Not today," Kim replied. "Target their towing mechanisms." "Precise shot, Lieutenant." The Thunderstrike's forward batteries fired again, a concentrated beam slicing through the energy tethers connecting the Krell carrier to the Intrepid. The connection severed, and the exploration vessel drifted free. Vrax slammed her upper arms against the command console. "No. Reconnect immediately." But before her crew could comply, the Thunderstrike positioned itself between the carrier and the Intrepid, effectively shielding the smaller vessel. "Sir, the Krell are powering up auxiliary weapons," Lieutenant Min warned. "They're targeting our engines." Kim nodded. "Let them try. Reinforce aft shields." The Krell carrier fired, energy blasts striking the Thunderstrike's stern. The human warship shuddered slightly, but its shields held. "Minimal damage," reported Commander Jun. "Their backup weapons aren't nearly as powerful." "Return fire," Kim ordered. "Disable their engines. I want that ship going nowhere." Inside the Intrepid, Commander Lee's team moved methodically toward the cargo bay where the crew was being held. They encountered more resistance, But with each engagement, they refine their tactics against the Krell fighters. They don't adapt, Lee observed after another brief firefight. They keep using the same approaches even after they fail. They've never needed to adapt before, Sergeant Yoon replied as he checked a fallen Krell for threats. I don't think anyone's ever fought back this effectively. They reached the cargo bay doors to find them heavily guarded. 6 Krell warriors stood ready, their weapons pointed at the entrance. Lee studied the layout through her helmet's enhanced vision. Team 2, access point through maintenance shaft 5C. Team 3, create a diversion at the secondary entrance. My team will breach the main doors once their attention is divided. The Marines moved with practiced efficiency. Soon, sounds of combat erupted from the far side of the cargo bay as Team 3 engaged. The guards at the main door turned, confused by the new threat. Now, Lee commanded. Her team breached the main doors, powered armor allowing them to simply tear through the mechanical locks. They stormed in, weapons ready. Inside, they found the Intrepid's crew huddled together, some injured but all alive. Captain Hannah Park stood at the front of her people, her uniform torn and dirty, but her posture still commanding. About time you showed up, she said with a relieved smile. Sorry for the delay, Captain, Lee replied, her helmet retracting to show her face. Traffic was terrible. The remaining Krell guards found themselves surrounded as Team 2 dropped from ceiling access panels behind them. They dropped their weapons and raised their forearms in surrender. Cargo bay secure, Lee reported through her comlink. We have the crew. Minimal injuries reported. On the bridge of the Thunderstrike, Captain Kim allowed himself a brief smile at the news. Well done, Commander. Begin evacuation immediately. Outside, the battle between the ships had turned decisively in humanity's favor. The Thunderstrike's precision weapons had systematically disabled the Krell carrier's engines, weapons, and communications. The massive pirate vessel now drifted helplessly. Sir, we're being hailed by the Krell carrier, Lieutenant Choi announced. Put it through, Kim ordered. Queen Captain Vrax appeared on screen, her alien features difficult to read, but her posture suggesting defeat. Human Captain, she said, her voice translator unable to hide the bitterness in her tone. It seems we misjudged your species' capabilities. Kim's expression remained stern, a costly miscalculation. Your boarding parties have been neutralized. Your ship is disabled, and we have recovered our people. Vrax's mandibles clicked slowly. What happens now? Now, Kim replied, we discuss terms of surrender, and you learn why it was a mistake to ever consider humans easy prey. Queen Captain Vrax sat rigidly in the metal chair, her forearms restrained by specialized cuffs. The interrogation room aboard the Thunderstrike was plainly furnished, just a table, 2 chairs, and blank walls. The door slid open, and Captain Ta Kim entered alone, carrying a data tablet. I trust your accommodations are adequate, Kim said as he took the seat opposite her. Vrax's mandibles clicked in what might have been a laugh. Your prison is more comfortable than many Krell living quarters. Another human weakness. Treating enemies with kindness. Kim placed the tablet on the table. Is that what you think kindness is? A weakness? Of course. The strong take. The weak give. This is the way of the universe. Kim studied the alien pirate leader. Vrax's chitinous exoskeleton gleamed dully under the lights. Her compound eyes reflected his image back at him like fractured mirrors. Tell me, Kim said, how many species has the Krell Dominion raided over the years? Vrax's upper arms would have gestured dismissively if not for the restraints. Dozens. Most are soft, like humans. They send out ships to explore, to learn, to make friends. The translation device couldn't quite capture the contempt in that last phrase, and this made them targets. Yes, those who seek peace are unprepared for war. Those who extend a hand in friendship cannot guard against a blade. Your ships carried minimal weapons. Your crews knew nothing of combat. You were prey. Kim leaned forward. Did it never occur to you that perhaps there was a reason our exploration ships were lightly armed? That perhaps there were other human vessels you hadn't encountered? Vrax's mandibles stilled. Explain. Humanity has a long history of warfare. For thousands of years, we fought each other. We became very, very good at it. Kim's voice remained calm, almost conversational. When we reached the stars, we made a choice. Our first vessels would carry scientists, not soldiers. They would extend hands, not point weapons. A foolish choice, Vrax clicked. No, a hopeful one. But hope does not mean naivety. Kim tapped his tablet, bringing up an image of the Thunderstrike. This ship was built because we understood that not everyone shares our hopes. It remained hidden because we wanted peace to have its chance first. For the first time, uncertainty flickered in Vrax's alien posture. Your exploration vessels were bait. Kim shook his head. No, they were genuine. We truly want peaceful relations with other species. But we're not fools. For every 10 exploration ships, we built one like the Thunderstrike, just in case. He stood up and walked slowly around the table. Humans prefer peace, Queen Captain. But we have never abandoned our capacity for war. In the medical bay, Captain Hannah Park sat on an examination table as a doctor checked her injuries. Commander Ji Lee entered, her armored suit now replaced with a standard uniform. "How are you feeling, Captain?" Lee asked. "Like someone who just escaped becoming a slave on a Krell mining colony," Hannah replied with a tired smile. "Thank you for the rescue. Your timing was impeccable." Lee nodded. "We moved as fast as we could once we received your distress signal. Your communications officer did impressive work. The encrypted data told us exactly what we were dealing with." "Jin has always been resourceful," Hannah said proudly. "How bad was it?" "The fighting. 6 Marines injured, none critically. The Krell weren't prepared for our combat suits. They've apparently never seen humans fight back effectively." Hannah's expression grew serious. "This changes things, doesn't it, for humanity's position out here?" "Yes," Lee admitted. "The quiet exploration approach may have just gotten a lot more complicated." 2 days later, the Thunderstrike returned to Orion Deep Space Station, towing both the damaged Intrepid and the captured Krell carrier. The arrival caused a sensation throughout human space. News traveled fast. Humanity had not only repelled a pirate attack, but had captured one of the most notorious Krell raid leaders. In a secure conference room at the station, Captain Kim briefed Admiral Song and several other high-ranking officials. The Krell carrier contained data on dozens of pirate operations throughout this sector, Kim explained. "We've identified at least 15 other species who have been victimized, along with coordinates for several pirate bases." Admiral Song nodded thoughtfully. "And what about the prisoners?" "Queen Captain Vrax has provided valuable intelligence in exchange for assurances about her crew's treatment. I believe she's finally understood that underestimating humanity was a critical error. An error that will spread throughout Krell space," another official noted, "and beyond." 2 weeks later, at the Intergalactic Council headquarters on Neutral Space Station Harmony, representatives from 12 spacefaring species gathered for an emergency session. The elegant chamber, designed to accommodate beings of widely varying physiologies, buzzed with conversation in multiple languages. The Veln representative, a tall, willowy being with silvery skin, addressed the assembly. "The incident between the humans and the Krell has forced us to reconsider several assumptions. Our intelligence indicates that the Krell Armada has officially designated human space as a no-raid zone. This is unprecedented." The Zorat delegate, a massive reptilian creature, rumbled in agreement. "The Krell fear nothing. Yet now, they fear humans." Human Ambassador Han stood to address the council. Unlike many representatives who dressed in elaborate ceremonial attire, he wore a simple dark suit. "The United Earth Alliance regrets that this demonstration of our capabilities was necessary," he said. "We came to the stars seeking knowledge and friendship. That remains our primary goal. But as the incident with the Krell shows, we are also prepared to defend ourselves and our allies. The council chamber grew quiet as the representatives considered his words. Finally, the ancient Mithran counselor, whose species had been spacefaring for 10,000 years, activated his speaking light. A species that seeks peace yet excels at war is either a great friend or a terrible enemy. The council must acknowledge this new reality. His gaze swept the chamber. I move that humanity's classification be upgraded from developing species to emergent power, effective immediately. The motion passed with near unanimous support. As the Thunderstrike prepared for its next patrol mission, Captain Kim stood in the observation lounge, looking out at the stars. Captain Hannah Park joined him, her uniform new, but her expression still bearing the subtle signs of her ordeal. "I hear the Intrepid will be ready for service again in a month," Kim said. Hannah nodded, with upgraded defenses this time. "The days of completely unarmed exploration may be behind us." "Perhaps," Kim agreed. "But we don't need to abandon who we are. Humanity still seeks peace. We just needed to remind the galaxy that peace is a choice we make, not a weakness we cannot overcome." Outside the viewport, ships of various designs moved through space, human vessels now drawing more curious and respectful attention than before. "It's a new era for humanity among the stars," Hannah said quietly. Kim smiled slightly. "And the Krell learned their lesson the hard way." The end.